When you realize that rejection is exactly what you need to get the job you want, and when you realize that it is thanks to rejection that you manifest the desired reality, you're going to be very thankful for all the rejections of job interviews and job positions and many more things in life. In this video, I will explain to you what rejection and mistakes in recruitment processes really mean, and especially how to use them to your advantage so that you achieve your next professional goal. So stay with me because I have many things to tell you. Hello to all my successful professionals out there. I hope you're doing very well and that you're working and achieving those beautiful goals you have. Today, we talk about rejection and the many disappointments, experiences that we have during the recruitment processes that leave us very disappointed, with a lot less confidence, and let's face it, sometimes a little bit beaten. So let's clarify something from the very beginning. If you're looking for a job, you're doing this because of two reasons. Either you are unemployed or because you really hate where you are or you really don't like your current job. In this case, it's really important that you understand that rejection is part of the game. There is no job search where you do not experience at least once a negative response, or one of these things like, we chose another more qualified candidate, or you know what, we cannot afford this salary, or even ghosting. Those moments where you apply and the recruiters, they just simply never show up. They leave you waiting and hanging without any news. This happens. It is part of the game. So with that in mind, let's see how can you do this. How can you do not just to turn it around, but to actually use it to your advantage. So first, prepare your mind for this. And when I say this, what I mean is you already know that this is going to happen at some point. So understand it as such. I don't mean that you have to program yourself for it to happen. And let me give you a very specific example so that this is really clear. If you go to an interview thinking, well, you know what, I probably won't get it, I'll be rejected here. Or if you apply for a job position and at that moment you're applying, you say to yourself, you know what, I don't think they'll call me anyway. You're doing it all wrong. Do not start with a negative intention. Do not start a recruitment process thinking that it will not turn out well. And don't even take any action thinking from the absence of the result you want. This is not the idea. So let's be clear about this. In this channel, we prepare you for success. We program you for success. So the idea is to always put a positive and a winning intention to all the actions that you take. That said, what I mean to say about reaction particularly is that you have to really prepare your mind for when it happens. That is, when despite your positive attitude and having done the best you could, you still didn't get that call or they still said no to your application, okay? That is where the mental strength and the capacity for resilience is required. And for me, that also includes the ability to transcend and to realize that for some reason, whether that is obvious or not, that wasn't the best job for you. So you have to move on and look for something else. Second, we are going to learn how to interpret what happens and what rejection really means. So stay here because this will change your mind completely. When I used to live in Paris, especially many years ago at the very beginning, I was looking for a job and I had applied for a business analyst position. And the person in charge of the recruitment process was one of these external companies, those big known firms. When I was in the interview and I was talking about my profile, the recruiter interrupts me and he tells me, but wait a minute, I think I can offer you something better than this position because to be honest, I don't see you very much on that analyst position. But rather, you could join our team of recruiters because you have the perfect profile to recruit people with your profile. What do you think? Well, the truth is I was super lost at the moment. I had no idea what I wanted to do. I didn't do any career coaching for myself and nobody helped me to define my career project back then. So I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, to be honest. So I said, yes, why not? And he told me, okay, let's meet my boss tomorrow. Come tomorrow. Perfect. So I left the interview And to be honest with you, I was really happy because I was surprised. I told myself, well, that's it. He saw that talent in me. And if he told me this, it's because I really fit in here, etc., etc. So I told myself a different story. And I prepared for the interview. And I came back the next day. And I met this very senior recruiter, the team lead, the director of all the recruiters. I remember I didn't even know how to pronounce his name. That was really embarrassing. Well, the fact is that this man looked at me so low. I felt really small in front of him. He intimidated me horribly. And he had that look on his face like, you know what, she's making me waste my time here. This sort of expression. We didn't even have 20 minutes of conversation when he said, what is it that you're doing here today? Because, you know, you don't have a profile as a recruiter. You don't have enough experience for a confirmed consulting position. You don't have a junior profile to be an analyst. The truth is, I don't even know where to put you. So I recommend you to go home and think what you want to do and what you're looking for, because I really don't have nothing for you here. He stood up and he left. I didn't leave the office crying, but I did cry when I left the building. That man destroyed me. Has any of this happened to you? Have you ever been rejected to the point that somebody makes you cry? Please leave it here in the comments so I don't feel alone here, because I'm sure it happens to many, many people. But let me tell you something. It wasn't him who made me cry. It was actually his words, because his word hit me exactly where it hurt the most. It was his words that made a mirror effect in me and put the light to my actual problem. I'm lost. I don't know what I want. That was my problem. This is what rejection is. When you are aligned and clear, the processes are more fluid. Rejection, mistake, questionings are tests of life to see if you really want that goal. They are meant to shake you, to move you, so that you understand what are the things that you need to correct, to clarify, to improve. And they are only visible when you don't get the things you want. And I'm serious, when you realize that rejection is exactly what you need to get the job you want, you're going to be thankful for all the rejections from the interviews and the job positions and every rejection that you receive in life, because they are fit tests. At that moment in my life, I didn't want to look for a job. I wanted to be a freelancer, but I didn't know how to do it. I didn't even know how to start. I didn't even know what service I could offer. And it was thanks to that man and those tears that I changed my perspective and I changed the job search strategy. And it was thanks to this type of rejection that I started to work harder on myself, and I actually designed a career goal that actually made sense for me. And I have many, many stories like this one. So I invite you to watch a video that is called Adversity is a Gift. And also I felt Now What? They are all here. The links are here below. Please watch them so that you have a completely different perspective of what mistakes are, what rejection is, and even what we call failure is. And before you leave, I'll leave you with just one last idea that I assure you that this will make you see rejection in a completely different way. When we don't manifest what we want, and in this case, the job you want, when you're not manifesting this, it's not because of the doubts that you have about yourself. We do not manifest what we want when we succumb to these doubts. That is when we believe that these rejections are true. When we condemn the rest of our actions because we believe that person or that company or that circumstance. For example, when this recruiter told me, you're neither junior, you're neither senior, I don't know where to place you. Imagine if I had believed that. If I had believed that doubt and I believed that there was no place for me, I wouldn't have even made the effort to rebuild my CV, to rebuild my communication, because it was not super clear. Because later I did get a job as a consultant, so the problem wasn't my profile, it was something else. So imagine also, if I had resisted that comment, if I hadn't listened to that, if I had gone into denial and hadn't accepted or welcomed that message that he was giving me, I would have continued applying with the same CV, same communication, constantly hitting myself against that wall because I didn't understand or I didn't listen to that message that rejection was bringing me. And this is what keeps people unemployed for such a long time. Doubts about ourselves, doubts about our profile, doubts about our capabilities will emerge all the time during the recruitment processes. But you have to learn to accept those doubts, listen to them, and see them right there at the moment. You have to know how to let go of that resistance that they produce so that you see what is blocking you. Only then you can let go of the ego, get out of that state of denial, and take the necessary actions to correct, to grow, and to act with coherence with respect to your goals. So there you have it. Rejection, when used well, is a very powerful tool to align yourself and to manifest the job you want. If you want more powerful tools for your professional development, you know how it works. Click below, subscribe to this channel because every week I have a new video. I send you for the moment a big kiss, and I'll be seeing you in another video to continue boosting your career.